What if social media is ruining our ability to talk and not in the way you think it is? So I wanted to make this video because there's something that I believe will happen by 2025, and it has to do with social media and the way that we use our voice and our ability to talk. And before I share with you what that is, I want to ask you to do 3 things. First, hit the like button below. Second, subscribe to the channel so you get notified when new videos come out. And third, share this video with one person who you think it will help. Now, there are some things that I think are true about how social media affects our ability to talk. For example, I believe that social media is hurting our ability to have deep conversations. Now, don't get me wrong, social media can be great for communicating with people, but having deep conversations requires work. It requires that both people put effort into the conversation. One of the best ways to learn how to have deep conversations is by doing it and not over social media. The second thing that I think is true is that social media is also hurting our ability to speak up and stand out. In the Attention Merchants book, it talks about how social media platforms are designed to keep us addicted. They do this by making the reward for posting or consuming content immediate and frequent. And this constant gratification is rewiring our brains to seek out that dopamine hit more and more often. This means that our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, making it harder and harder for us to focus on one task at a time. This lack of focus makes it difficult for us to speak up and stand out. When we are constantly bombarded with notifications from our phones, it can be hard to find the courage to raise our voices above the noise. We may be afraid that if we take the risk of speaking up, we will be interrupted or ignored. But the truth is that if we don't speak up, we will continue to be marginalized and our voices will continue to be lost in the crowd. The third thing that I believe is true is that social media is also hurting our empathy. An article published in the Harvard Business Review showed that after only 30 minutes of using Facebook, participants felt significantly lonelier. This is because instead of feeling connected to other people, we are often comparing ourselves to them and feeling like we are falling short. Additionally, research from the University of California, Los Angeles, found that social media users who spent more time on these platforms were more likely to report symptoms of depression and anxiety. This is because social media can create a false sense of reality. We see only the highlights of other people's lives, and we start to compare our everyday reality to their seemingly perfect posts. This comparison can make us feel like our own lives are less valuable or less interesting. Additionally, we may feel like we are missing out on experiences that others are sharing on social media, which can lead to feelings of envy and resentment. These negative emotions can make it difficult to empathize with others. But now, let me share with you the most important thing that I believe is going to happen by 2025. And it has to do with our ability to talk. By 2025, I believe that our ability to articulate our thoughts and ideas will begin to diminish. You might be thinking, why would this happen? Well, consider the following. We've all experienced those moments when we're fumbling for words, trying to construct a coherent sentence, or even just putting together a simple thought. Our ability to express ourselves clearly and confidently is essential for effective communication. But what happens when we rely on autocorrect and voice dictation to do the heavy lifting for us? Are we inadvertently sacrificing our ability to articulate our thoughts and ideas? This is the concern that I have. As we become accustomed to relying on technology to communicate for us, we may lose our ability to think critically and creatively. You see, language is more than just a tool for communication. It's a way to understand the world around us. When we lose our ability to articulate our thoughts and ideas, we lose our ability to think critically and creatively. And I'm not the only one who's worried about this. Researchers have found that the use of predictive text and voice dictation can actually impair our cognitive abilities. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology found that participants who used predictive text were less able to generate creative text compared to those who used a standard keyboard. Another study published in the journal PNAS found that voice dictation impaired working memory and attention. These findings suggest that as we become accustomed to using technology to communicate for us, we may be sacrificing our cognitive abilities. This is why I am so concerned about what will happen by 2025, as the use of autocorrect and voice dictation continues to grow. I fear that we will lose our ability to think critically and creatively. As a result, we will struggle to articulate our thoughts and ideas, which will impact our ability to communicate effectively. and this is already starting to happen. Consider the rise of chatbots and AI-powered assistants. These technologies are designed to make our lives easier by automating tasks, such as answering questions and generating text. But as we become accustomed to relying on these tools, we may lose our ability to think critically and solve problems on our own. We may become too dependent on machines to do the thinking for us. So what can we do to prevent this from happening? The first step is to be aware of the problem. We need to recognize that our reliance on technology to communicate for us is actually harming our cognitive abilities. Once we've acknowledged this, we need to take steps to mitigate the damage. One way we can do this is by taking breaks from our devices. By stepping away from our phones and computers, we can give our minds a chance to rest and recharge. This will allow us to focus on the task at hand and think more critically. Another way we can do this is by challenging ourselves to use our imaginations. This could involve setting aside time each day to daydream or engaging in activities that require creativity, such as writing or painting. By exercising our imaginations, we can strengthen our cognitive abilities and protect ourselves against the negative effects of technology. I know that many of us rely on technology to communicate for us, but it's important to remember that these tools are only as effective as our ability to use them. If we don't make an effort to protect our cognitive abilities, we may eventually lose our ability to articulate our thoughts and ideas, and this would be a tragic loss for all of us. I hope that this video helps you see how social media is affecting our ability to talk, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below and share it with one person who you think it will help. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notified when new videos come out. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.